Welcome to the Soul Art Podcast. I'm your host and guide, Will Caminada. This is a conversation episode where I bring a special guest to share with us their spiritual awakening journey and their expertise so that we can all be inspired, educated, and feel connected as one. Hello, beautiful soul. I'm so glad and grateful that you chose to listen to the Soul Art Podcast. Today, I had the pleasure to talk to Tara Jackson. Tara is a business intuitive and mentor, color mirrors alchemist, and the founder of Empathpreneurs, a business service for empath entrepreneurs, supporting them to align and ground their businesses with the chakras. Her recently released second book, Embodied Business, looks at each of the 7 main chakras and how they relate to having and building a business. Tara is such a gentle soul with a beautiful purpose to help fellow humans bridge the practical with the intuitive, the physical with the spiritual, and guide empaths into becoming more empowered. We talked about her spiritual awakening, her business, and what Empathpreneur means. And of course, we talked about her second most recent book. This episode is full of insights, tips, and inspiration. I hope you enjoy the show. And if you do, please hit the subscribe button, leave a comment or a review, and share this episode with your friends. Enjoy it. Hi, Tara. Welcome to the Soul Art Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I am grateful and excited to have you here on the Soul Art Podcast. And I love that you work with both spirituality and business. So I'm excited to talk to you about this.
Yeah, me too. So, definitely.
To start with, before we talk about the work that you're currently doing and your book that we're going to talk about it, I'd love for you to share with us a little bit of your entrepreneurial journey, how you started in this journey.
Okay, so I guess the long version or the short version of it?
It's up to you.
Okay. So I did an art degree to begin, and it didn't resonate at all in London. And so I kind of quit that and then started working for a PR company and found that a great way. Like, I really enjoyed the PR and marketing sort of the work that we did. We had some quite cool retail and charity clients at the time. And so I learned how to work in PR and marketing for a few years. And then I decided I was done with that. I didn't want to kind of grow in the company and become a director or anything like that. I wanted to try other things. So I moved to becoming the business manager and operations manager for the company, and to learn the ins and outs of running a business, sort of from behind the scenes, the day-to-day running of the office, supporting the directors, a bit of PA work, and just learning, what it takes to run a business from the behind the scenes, the marketing, the administration, the HR, all that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And that was a really great experience that kind of balanced the PR and marketing experience I'd done. And then I was fed up with that too. I had this sort of personality that just gets bored, and I just didn't want to really work for other people. And I was also craving more in terms of what I was doing, the businesses I was working for. I was really interested in sustainable hospitality and the food industries. So I went freelance and began kind of literally doing anything and everything to try out loads of different things. I worked for a hospitality entrepreneur. I worked for soulpreneurs. I worked supporting a supper club, doing cooking events. I did art teaching, like teaching art camps. I did writing. I can't even think. I just loads and loads and loads of different things I tried out. And then whilst also realizing what do I really want to thinking, what do I really want to do? Where's my calling? Like, where am I supposed to be? It just felt like there was all these things and so much that I could do or was interested in, but nothing was really kind of clicking. Sort of alongside that, I started studying health and wellness and nutrition, more for myself than anything else, because I had, been struggling with my health, working from the working world, as well as not looking after myself in the best way. So I did that and became a qualified health coach, and then just decided, since I had that, I'm going to do this. I'll start, a health coaching practice and try and work with people in, working environments to support them with their well-being, having come from that environment and seeing how detrimental it can be to wellness. And so that's what I began to do for a while. And then that journey merged, as I wasn't in that environment anymore. And so as, my health coaching became sort of more suited to where I was at, which was working with the seasons and cycles, because that was coming up for me a lot at the time. And then, my whole awakening journey was going on alongside this kind of thing. And so
so that was my next question.
Okay.
About your spiritual awakening. Was it alongside your entrepreneurial journey too, or did that come later on? When did you sort of merge both?
I think when I went freelance, it was that kind of realization, I don't want to be working in an office 5 days a week for goodness knows how many hours. There's more to life than this. I can choose what I want to do, and I want to create my time, my hours, and do what I want to do in the world, and have the freedom to do.
That's one of like the first signs of the spiritual awakening, when we start questioning, right? Questioning everything, like questioning our purpose, our values, our routine.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So, and that just continued. And as I, dived into books and videos and teachers, and just absorbed everything I could possibly absorb, from free stuff from Hay House, like all their world summits. I think I did every single lesson there a couple of years ago in a row, read the books of all the people that I resonated with, did their courses. Some, I did all the trainings. I was one of those people that thought I need to know everything before I can do it,
Love it.
So that was
I resonate with it. And did you grow up in a spiritual family or environment, or was it more like later in your life that you started your spiritual path?
It's interesting, because I think, my parents are actually quite spiritual. My dad was probably a hippie, for lack of a better word, but it didn't really affect me then. I think I had a deep knowing inside myself. I believed in past lives from the age of about 9. Yes. And I would just know that anything is possible. And we have this power in ourselves to create, there's so much potential and magic that we're not tapping into. And I think that was part, kind of allowing that and opening it back up to that was part of my journey. But so it was kind of always there, but I didn't really go into it until when everything sort of starts crumbling around you and you're like questioning everything, like you said. So probably later, alongside the entrepreneurial journey. Yeah.
Great. And out of these, the things that you've tried and studied and read, which were the things that you most resonated with? You mentioned past life. Was that something that you really resonated with? Is there anything else? I think the chakras too, right? What were the things that you mostly resonated with that you use today in your work?
So, and color therapy, sort of color alchemy. Yes, that's a huge one. So just the power of what color, how we respond to colors and what they can mean and help, and how they can support us. But so the color, I suppose I've always had a love, even doing the art degree, but then kind of shut that down when I did not like the art degree, and it was very, you have to do it a certain way, which I did not resonate with. So I only picked up the art and the color like more recently, and just having that back has been like, oh my God, it's like a homecoming, and so exploring the color things. Who else is really, I think, some of the kind of energy work or sort of quantum field type stuff, a bit like Joe Dispenza's work, and others, of course, but I'm really diving into that right now, actually, just at the quantum field, and just that we can create anything in the moment. I'm just playing around with that a lot right now and using it. But yeah, and past lives has been like, it was like my secret for a while. I just sort of did like little regressions on my own and felt way too scared to come out with that. But yeah, it's definitely been a huge support and a tool I use and love, definitely.
Yeah. I assume you read a lot of Brian Weiss's work.
Yes,
yeah,
a lot.
It's awesome.
And did his regressions. Yeah.
And so was it something you found a lot of healing And then because it worked for you, now you're using on your business to help your
Yeah.
clients.
Yeah, like super quick healing even. It's like, I mean, I've probably done hundreds of regressions on myself now. Like over lockdown, I was a bit of a past life junkie, just doing regressions every evening on myself before bed. And just clearing, like it just going into something and then it's gone. It's like I don't feel that tightness in my body that I was feeling around something. And sometimes I might have to go into it again, but I just find it super powerful for me personally. You know, it might not work for everyone, and of course, but yeah, this how quickly I'm able to let something go, release it, accept it. By doing that, it's been quite profound and powerful for me personally. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love that you're saying this, because there are so many healing modalities available for us, right? There's meditation, breath work, sound healing, and it's all a matter of like what resonates with you and us trying them out. And I love that you're talking about past life, because I actually just recorded a podcast talking about my ayahuasca experience, because
Ooh.
I was revealed a lot of about 6 past lives in one session. And I think for me, it's been also very healing, but it's helped me gain clarity,
Yeah.
like understanding why my journey has been the way it has been so far, and also clarity on my next steps. So it's really powerful.
Oh wow. Oh, amazing that you got that through ayahuasca. I'm yet to try it, but I think I will. I want to definitely at some
Yeah.
point.
It's
Amazing.
beautiful. It's beautiful. It's powerful.
Mm.
But like you said, you can find meditations. You can do it on yourself. There are so many different ways. I work a lot with breath work too, and breath work can
Yes.
be very cathartic, but also you can go very deep into your subconscious mind.
Yes, I've literally just got properly into breathwork, sort of feeling those, the intuitive nudges towards it for ages. And I'm blown away, literally. And I've only just scratched the top of the surface. And that's something I'm going into massively at the moment. And it's incredible. Yeah. So I think we resonate in healing modalities here, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. I'd love to talk to you also about your business and the concept that you came up with, which I love. It's called Empathpreneurs, um,
Yes.
which is a combination of empath and entrepreneurs. Could you tell us what it means, and also for those who are sort of new to this term empath, and how you came up with this concept, or who falls into this category of empathpreneur? I know I do.
I think it's very open as well. I think it just came to me because I'm an empath, and working, with other entrepreneurs and in corporate and agencies, the way they did business, it just didn't resonate with me at all. And I would feel so much, and I would feel the energy, and I could change the energy and do things without even realizing. And the way I had to look after myself seemed to be so much more than others, to be able to get through a day or a week or different times. So I feel it's I think anyone could possibly be an empath, because I do feel we all have this in us. Like if you look at a baby, then life happens, or there's I don't know, other things happen to us in our lives, and we become different, or I don't know. I think
Sort
I'm a
of
bit open to who it can be for.
build layers, right?
Exactly, in layers. Yeah, absolutely. But I think when you do start to tune into energy, and you do get to know yourself well, and you realize your sensitivities and your how you can work with energy, feel energy, etc., it becomes like you have to look after yourself in a different way. And I think other things become more things come up on the entrepreneurial journey that stop you. This is why I wrote the book. The blocks that might come up, I seem to see that these affect people who felt more, who were able to do that more than others that didn't so easily. So it's kind of working with people that are able to really feel and have these. And it's not to say that others don't, but really they really do. It's a big part of their life. They have to look after themselves, their energy, how they manage their and possibly past stuff that goes on that might be stopping them. And I mean, there's a lot more to it than that too. It's still kind of unfolding because it's quite new to me in some ways. It's just sort of came, and I kind of created it to open this space to allow for this, and it's very much evolving. Does that kind of answer your question a bit in
Yes,
terms of
absolutely.
yeah.
And I think that a lot of people will resonate with it because they might consider themselves sensitive and empaths. And I think most times they might think, oh, I'm not cut out for business. I don't have the skills to be an entrepreneur, because I think that we still have this idea that to become an entrepreneur or to work in business, you still have to have this very masculine energy, the very practical skills. And I truly believe it's a balance, and it's a combination of, right, merging the feminine energy and the masculine, the intuition with the action. So I
Absolutely.
love your concept, and I think it's really important work, and I'm sure a lot of people that are listening to this will resonate with it.
No, thank you so much. Yeah, it's an honor to do this, to be honest with you, like to be able to share this and to let it grow and to work with the people I do, and to say, yes, there's a different way, and we are here to create it, which is why it's not like a this is what it means, and a very strict boundary thing. It's very open because I think we are creating it, and opening that space for you, to bring that feminine back into balance with the masculine, and so allowing for that, and whatever that means, with everyone.
Yeah, and I think there's also this nowadays there's this culture of the hustle, right? It's like you have to just keep doing, and we forget to be, right? We forget that we are also beings of light. We have this energy. We have the feminine energy. We have our intuition. So you talk a lot about this in your book, Embodied Business, a guide to grounding and aligning your business chakras for empathpreneurs. I love the concept. I have been reading, and I do a lot of work with the chakras myself too, with clients. So I love the concept, and I believe there's so much wisdom in learning about the chakras and being aware of this energy system that really is not just in us, it's in the whole universe. It's on planet Earth, right? On animals. So how did you come up with this idea of merging the chakra systems with business? And maybe you can tell us in a nutshell what your book is about.
Yeah, of course. So the idea basically actually came, so kind of back to the entrepreneurial journey, when I did the health coaching thing, and then actually this whole idea only came to me earlier this year in 2020, and like before even COVID hit and everything hit the world. And it was like, okay, so all these things I've done, all these different jobs, I just one day suddenly it was like, it's like the chakras, it could fit into there. You've got your alignment, you've got your visioning, you've got your communications, you've got your sharing from the heart, your marketing, your well-being, your creativity and your branding, and then your base, your basics in your business, your systems, your processes, your website. And it was like, wow, I could just offer this because I've done all this work in all these areas, bring it together and help people, create a business with it in alignment, depending on what they need in their business to help them. And then, so I was doing that for a little bit, but then as I did it, it was like, but wait, it's the other stuff that, it's not just that bit, it's the inner work, it's the inner, the inner stuff, the energetics of the bit, the work. That was the biggest learning curve on my entrepreneurial journey, because no one taught me that. I learned how to do all the other stuff in the jobs I did, but no one shared, you might be scared of speaking up and expressing yourself. You might get, I used to be so petrified of being on video. I would shake like crazy when I first did my first Zoom call, like 3-4 years ago. It was shaking. And, no one teaches you that, or, unless you have presentation training or some other formal thing that, well, at least in my experience, I think these days it's changing. But yeah, so it was like, wow, there's a lot of stuff that, that comes up that doesn't get addressed and doesn't get talked about. Well, obviously more now, but it didn't get talked about. So I think that's the book. I don't need to do all the practical stuff. Everyone knows that or can find that. Let's focus on this stuff. And that's where it came from. And it happened incredibly quickly. You know, I've got to be honest, it felt very divinely guided and written. It came in less than 3 weeks, this book.
Wow.
And I just sat and wrote for 3 weeks. I'm not even kidding. I feel very honored to share, to even be able to say
really
that.
channeling.
Yeah,
really channeling.
I've never experienced it like that before, and I'm super honored, and that's how it came. And so, and I mean, it's me in it, and it is my experiences, but how it kind of came together so fast was like, wow, okay, do this.
I loved it. In a way, I guess you've been working on this book for all your life, right? It's just that when you have that insight and you really connect and you open up yourself to say, I'm ready to manifest this, then that's when the downloads come, right? I love that. Exactly. Love that.
And take that action, like you said, because, you know, all these, you know, these ideas are in the field as well. You got to take that action. And I acted super fast. So like, so that was a big part of it. Definitely. Just
love that. And I love what you said too about like working within. It's like working from inward outwards, right? So it's like understanding what's happening in your throat chakra. Why can't you express? Why can't you communicate what you want? Why can't you be on video, right? And really understanding that on a deeper level. Love that. I thought that we could give a little teaser of what's inside the book, and maybe you can we can go through each chakra and you can tell us what is the correlation. You gave us a little glimpse, but you can share with us like what's the correlation between the chakra and the business and the entrepreneurial journey. And I love that you also added the star chakra, the earth star chakra, and the soul star chakra, right?
Yes.
Which is not much, they're not much talked about. We usually talk about the 7 ones starting from the root. So maybe we can start with the earth chakra, right? The earth is earth star or earth chakra?
As I say earth star, but I think you say what you like. Yeah.
So that's the one just below the root or the base, right?
Base, yeah, exactly. Or just, I mean, a few inches below your feet, under, in the ground.
Great.
So I mean, also just to say, with the writing, I worked with the soul of this book. So the Earth Star and Soul Star came afterwards. I had the first draft done, and on a call with my writing kind of mentor, who I published with, her company. The soul of the book said you need the soul star and the earth star in as anchor points. So it was quite fun, and that's why it just came. So I just wanted to share that, because it was when you work with the energy, you know, the energy of it, the soul of it, or whatever it may be, it's such magic, and just, you know, really leaning into that has been quite life-changing for me as well. But yes, there's the earth star. So like, I mean, it's an anchor point to really, you know, really ground your business. So I know the base is that, but it's that real support from Mother Earth, that connection, that the seasons and cycles, you know, really leaning into that and knowing that that support is there. And I also give, you know, a visualization to connect to Mother Earth's love and support. And and a few other things. Of course, this is all just, you know, a few things. There are probably lots more stuff, but that's what it kind of is. Yeah.
Love it. And it's so important to ground ourselves. Sometimes we are so focused on, you know, our intuition or the guidance from the spirit, you know, and our third eye and our crown chakra, and then we might forget to ground ourselves. It's so important. And I've been there, where I was just focusing on the upper chakras, that I was just like aloof, you know, like,
oh my goodness, yes. And I think that's such a huge thing. Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I get I'm so passionate about this, hence the name Embodied. And my first book's Embodied. This is Embodied Business, is because probably empathpreneurs, or a lot of them, not all, of course, I find they are in the upper chakras and don't want to ground, be in the body, be on earth at this time. We are here to be on earth. There is so much magic in our bodies as well, and being in them, present, all of it, you know,
so much intelligence.
Yes, exactly. So I'm hugely with you on that. Yes.
Love it. And then moving up to the base chakra, or the root chakra.
Yeah.
What would be the correlation between the chakra and having your business, being an entrepreneur?
So it's got a little bit of the earth stuff in terms of the grounding and the embodiment, but then also I go into a bit of about money. only a little bit, because I mean, you can write books and books on money, as we both know. So just a little bit into, you know, your relationship with money and your beliefs, because again, that's a big part of it. You know, the money, your survival in this current system that we, you know, that we operate in anyway. And then some of the things I go into are, you know, boundaries, judgments, victimhood. And these can all, you know, of course, these can come up in your life and wellness, and they come up when you look at chakras, but then they can also come up in your business, and they will affect how you show up. So looking at that from a business perspective as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess also like looking at finances and like the practical stuff too, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't go into much detail on the practical stuff, but yeah, absolutely. It being a part of it, you know, you need your practical stuff in there. And, you know, how do you feel about that stuff? And like, you know, like we said, that some of the people, some empaths like to be in the higher chakras.
Yeah.
But you need to have your processes, your systems in this current working system, at least, to be able to operate and have a business that is a business, and, you know, moves, you know, helps you, supports you, etc. You know,
yeah. And I guess that's why like having awareness of these energy points is so important, because you also know which are your strengths and which are the things you need to focus on. So for example, for me, I have so many ideas all the time. It's like, it's very easy for me to just have ideas. I go into meditation, I have a bunch of downloads, but then I need to make the effort to say, okay, I'm gonna take an action. I'm gonna actually focus on it and manifest it and see what's the practical aspects that I need to take in order to manifest that.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Yes.
Excellent. So moving up to the sacral.
Yes. So the sacral, I've gone more into, again, you know, these are just a few things that can come up. Of course, there's going to be more, but the things I've chosen to go into are around receiving in your business. So receiving financially, receiving clients, receiving support, and yeah, what might come up around that's going to stop you, or that will get in the way of you receiving all you want to receive, or you think you want to receive. And then going a bit into maybe some traumas, past traumas, things that might, again, also affect this.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, kind of, well, there's a little bit more, but creative flow, you know, looking at your creative flow and allowing that creativity, that flow in your business, again, because so many of us were taught that, you know, that's not business necessarily. Having, you know, depends what you worked in. I did work in an agency where there was creativity, so it's a bit different, but it wasn't given the same respect or the same space that other things were sometimes. But yeah, allowing that creativity and having that as a part of your business, and any blocks that might come up there. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. And I feel like there's so much trauma stored in this chakra for so many people. And I love what you were saying about receiving, and it's really like about cleansing and being clear on what you want to receive, and open up to receive that.
Absolutely.
And
yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that was all.
Great. So moving up to the solar plexus.
Yes. So this has got a few things in it. I mean, and this is a chakra that, yeah, I definitely am working on again. I mean, you work on them all the time, but it's come up for me even more, you know, all the time they come up. So this is really about owning your worth, you know, your authentic power, fear of your power as well, on the opposite. And you might have come in with, or, you know, wounds from past lives around power. You know, power is such a big thing on our planet. There's a lot in that. This is why I think it's, you know, comes around a lot for many of us. But really, yeah, learning, you know, being in your full power, your authentic power, and what that means to you. And then things like self-sabotaging through patterns and behaviors, you know, that's very common. I go into connecting to yourself as a child as well in this part, because I see this as your truth. You know, you know, that's that version of you. You know, who are they? What do they want in the world? Before all the other stuff happened, the layers and the crap came in. You know, all the stuff that comes, the layers. Yeah.
It's almost like the purest power, right? Is that really pure power that we have when we are born.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly.
That. And the solar plexus for me is also so important to like gain motivation and like willingness. The willpower sense of the solar plexus is for me is also something that I focus. Is like whenever I feel like I need to take action, or I need to like find the motivation, whether it is to go to the gym or to do the
I love
work,
that.
I just focus on it
Absolutely.
because, yeah.
I love that. And actually, you reminded me, like, actually, and I do say this, is what I put in each chakra might apply to another chakra for you. So, you're talking about this willpower, this taking action. It's absolutely the solar plexus. It could also be, I've got it in the crown chakra, for example, in this book, but I think, there is an overlap as well with some of the chakras, or that, they are going to be the same. They're going to have the same things in them, but in a slightly different way, maybe, or so it can vary. And it's about being open to what resonates for you and using it in your way. Yeah.
Totally. Love it. And then moving up to the heart, which is the bridge between the lower chakras and the upper chakras, it's this beautiful portal, not only bridge. I say it is a bridge, but it's also a portal to love. And what is the correlation between the heart and the business?
So I kind of got it for, I think, again, from more of an empath perspective, of course, is, sharing vulnerably and sharing your truth, allowing, I think that's so important in business today, that authentic truth, rather than just telling and things, and allowing that to shine through and to be, share from the heart, allow that to come out. And there's a couple of things, around, again, I got boundaries in here as well, about and overgiving, because it's so common with people that want to help and heal. So really being aware of that in yourself and looking after yourself too, also, surrendering to the journey of self-love is something else I have in here, because I feel that it's just so important alongside the entrepreneurial journey. It really is, especially, for everyone, to be honest. I think self-love is just an added thing. Yeah,
like we always come down to self-love, right? It's like the root, the core, and self-worth and feeling enough.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's so important for any project, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you have a business, to feel, to share it from the heart. I love that. And to also feel worthy to receive all the abundance that the universe wants to pour into you.
Exactly.
Love that. Yeah. And then moving up to the throat, I think this is a big one. It's a big one for me, but
it's a big one. Definitely.
Yeah, it's a big one for empaths, for sure.
Yes. Yeah. The expression, speaking up, fear of being seen as well, like really, because obviously it can connect to other chakras, but allowing yourself to be seen, that, like I said, I was petrified of being seen, but then also of even allowing myself to have an opinion, of speaking my truth, speaking anything, and asking for what you need as well, asking for what you need in your business. So again, support or whatever it is that you need, and having a voice ultimately in your business. Yeah.
Do you think it's also related to setting boundaries?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I say. Like, I haven't actually included it in there, but absolutely it is. But voicing what you need is having boundaries as well. Yeah. And allowing, saying what you need with people, or your time, or whatever it might be. Yeah. Completely.
And I think it's so, I think a lot of empaths struggle with setting boundaries, right?
Yes. I totally did for years. Yeah.
Yeah. And then moving up to the third eye.
So for this, I have sort of trust being the biggest thing of all. Trusting yourself, trusting the guidance, and trusting and owning your spiritual gifts as well. Because like I said, I kept the past life part of me hidden until this year. Wow. Because I was way too scared to come out with that. People might think I'm absolutely crazy, but it's time to own them, and share them, because they are here and they're real. So allowing that and honoring that, and also about focusing and making decisions. So again it could come from here, but also kind of allowing that trust that you're on the right track for you as well. Trusting your path.
Trust the intuition too, right?
Yes,
love it.
Absolutely.
Moving up to the crown chakra.
Yes. yes. So I have the action. This is my action part, but also connecting with the field, connecting with the guidance. So, the kind of these chakras, I do find they're quite close sometimes in terms of what can come up. But so connecting with the field and energy, like I said, I connected with the soul of this book. So use, kind of being open to that. So it's less about blocks, but just sharing, like, be open to that, like work with it, co-create, as opposed to thinking you have to do it all on your own, or, basically that. And then looking a bit at alignment. I also do this in the star chakra too, but looking at alignment and vibration, the power of vibration, and just, how important that is for you, and looking after yourself as well. And then there's a little bit around fears and blocks around technology, which can come up and be a block. Just actually stopping you from taking that action. And then I've actually got working with your inner critic here in this chakra, but again, it could come into other chakras totally. But when I was writing it, it wanted to be there. So that's where.
And I guess it's the one that sort of, like you said, align all the others. And I feel like there's a sense of when you align all the chakras, you find that sense of higher purpose, or like you sort of like, why you're here, why you're doing this.
And you feel that, like, you feel that spark, that motivation, that exactly, like, I know I have reason, purpose, like you said. It kind of connects it. Absolutely. I'm just repeating what you're saying. Exactly.
And how about the upper one you called Soul Star Chakra?
So this was kind of like a divine love of the soul star, just like it's everything's happening for you, even parts of the journey that seemed messy, that seemed like, what was this taking me? Why was I doing this? Why was I, and when you, I know, obviously, when you look back, you're like, oh, okay, that all makes sense. It all fits together. The dots all connect. So just that it's there, it's for you, if you allow that and honor that, surrender to it, it's just, it's magical. And kind of also, it's sort of as the anchor point, I personally got it as like that love again. So alignment from above as well. So just kind of an extension of the crown chakra, but keeping everything aligned and just letting you know that it's all okay and it's working out and it's perfect for you. Yes.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing a glimpse of your book. And if anybody's listening and they're like resonating with it, so other than getting your book to understand more about the chakras, what would be your main piece of advice for anyone starting a business or starting this entrepreneurial journey? What would be your main advice in relation to also becoming more aware of your energy system, of your chakras?
So in terms of that, I guess it's just, as things come up on this journey, I mean, self-awareness is always the biggest thing, understanding and allowing, because I think I spent so long ignoring what was going on inside, just thinking, just push past it, just get on with it, show up, keep showing up, but stop. Actually pay attention to what's going on inside you. Listen to what your body's trying to tell you. What is it saying? Connect with it. So fear is probably, often a big one. Connect with it. Ask it what it wants to share. Get to the root of it. And then give yourself what it needs. And just really taking a moment to really get to know your body and its messages. And you'll start to get all these things. This is how I've got them all, through actually stopping and paying attention to those signs. Because, the entrepreneurial journey is the biggest awakening journey, I think, in many ways. It really brings up everything because it has to. You have to show up. You have to do everything that, you're forced to go through all this stuff. And by spending time on your self-care, your self-awareness, your self-growth, expansion, you'll be able to move through these things. But you have to spend the time doing them and honoring them. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. I love that. Love that. And I love that your book will definitely help people find that inner truth, find that purpose, find the inner why, right? Because I guess sometimes we think a lot of people might want to start a business because they want to get money, because they want to earn more money, or because they want to become famous, and like getting really deep on why and starting from and being led by, like you said, by the heart, sharing from the heart, from that really authentic place is really powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually just quite interesting because I was asked this question in my group the other day. What chakras do you recommend starting with if you don't know what business you want to start? And it actually could be meant, a few of them. And so I think, working with the chakras can help, because as you work with them, you unblock them, and you are open to that guidance, and what your heart really desires, what your purpose is, what you feel, what makes you feel the most, what makes you happy, what brings you joy, love, freedom, etc. And you start to connect with those values more as you work with your chakras in a holistic healing wellness way, even, and paying attention to your body. So because it's a lot of chakras that can help.
Yeah.
And I wish I'd in some ways known this when I was starting and so confused. But I also, through action, through trying things, you kind of work out where you're going and what's meant to be. But then also knowing that it's not perfect too, and it's part of the journey. And so I don't regret a second of it as well, because I've learned all the things I have. Yeah. So
yeah. And I love that you also talk about the cycles, right? And I think that's something that we don't talk much about, because sometimes people think that the chakras is just like, I need to focus on my throat chakra forever. And I say it's kind of like our mood, there are days and weeks that you might want to focus on your root chakra because you're a little bit ungrounded, right? So it's really like working with the cycles and just becoming very aware of your energy, not just your energy, but the energy of the collective too, because that affects us, right?
Exactly, of course. And that's where like solar plexus come up for me again. And also where you're at in your business. I'm trying to, if you're stepping up to a new level, or you want to be doing something more, you're taking yourself out of your comfort zone, other chakras will come up again, like the throat. I'm sure the throat will rear its head at some point again very soon, just because done a bit on that a few months ago. It'll be back soon, I'm sure. Another level of it. But let's see. Yeah, just being open.
Excellent. Do you have any projects or courses in the pipeline that you would like to share with us?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm actually going to do a course pretty much on this book with some color therapy included. It's still kind of finalizing. I'm waiting for it to kind of share more with me, but so hopefully beginning of February next year. Yeah. So sort of business chakra alchemy. That's the working title of it. Yes.
That's awesome. What are you looking forward to in your personal life and in your business, and also for the collective?
Oh gosh. Oh,
or what are you excited about?
For me personally, I'm just excited to see where this book will go and to see what its journey is without attachment, genuinely with no attachment. I'm just excited, and I just want to keep doing what I'm here to do and serving as I can. And that makes me so excited. I genuinely feel more aligned now than I think ever. And, being able to co-create and work with the soul of it has been the biggest gift. And just to keep doing that makes me so excited. Collectively, I would love for us to, work more in balance with our seasons, our cycles, our bodies, having this lockdown break. I know, and I realize I'm privileged and I've had an incredible situation compared to many, but there is potential for, balancing and for that, that inner peace, and then rippling that out to work more in alignment with the seasons, the cycles. And I think empaths especially are the ones that will help create that, their little corners, their little parts of the world. And if that grows, that's, how the world is going to create change. And that's kind of my biggest why in many ways. Yeah.
Love it. Well, I have some final questions that I call fun and deep. So
okay.
I suggest that you don't overthink, just answer whatever comes to your consciousness first thing. Okay. So what's your definition of entrepreneurship?
Oh, okay. So I suppose it's a business journey for where you create what you want in the world to create change as well, to help others in some way, but you do it in your way, and it's your journey to do that, to create that thing that works for you and also works for others. Yeah, that's my definition.
Continue the sentence. Being aware of your chakra system can
help you connect with yourself on a whole new level.
I know it's a big one, and it's pretty much what we talked about. Right. This is a little bit fun. If you could live as an animal, which one would it be and why?
Oh gosh. Okay, so my head immediately went to elephant because I love them so much. I was obsessed with elephants when I was a child, and there's just this gentle wisdom and strength about them, and they just honor one another. They care for one another, and there's this like I just find them just very graceful, gentle presence of strength. There's a lot to aspire to. I think.
I feel a very gentle presence from you, from your energy.
Maybe I was an elephant in a past life. I'm not connected to it. You never know.
Yeah. Well, I believe I was a whale in my past life because since I was a child, I loved whales. I still love whales.
I love that. I'm with you there.
Let's suppose we signed contracts before coming to this life, which I believe we kind of do in a way.
Yeah.
And then we choose what we came here to learn as well as to teach. So what do you think this would be for you in this lifetime as Tara?
Duality. So I think my first half of my life, I learned a lot of the crappy lessons, the hardness, the pain, the losing my mother, addictions, self-sabotage, hating myself, really going the furthest from self-love possible and not believing I was worthy of it, etc. And now it's that journey back. I think it's the duality of it in other situations too, but duality and the journey back to the body, the self and love kind of thing. Yeah.
Beautiful. And the last question is about soul art. And basically the soul art is your soul's purpose, is that thing that you do that comes through you and you sort of become it. That was sort of the concept I got when I got the concept for soul art. It doesn't have to be art. It can be something else. I know for me, it is singing, writing, teaching. What is your soul art?
I just want to say I love the name soul art. I think it's beautiful. I was thinking about that before we got on this. So writing and painting, definitely writing and painting.
Yeah,
and possibly actually recording meditations as well. Really beautiful. Calming meditations. I think that's something else that's emerging. Yeah.
And when you were saying that your book just came through you in 3 weeks, I mean that's your soul art.
I guess I think the writing part, opening for that. Writing is definitely I find it comes very easily. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I love those questions.
Thank you. And please share with us how the listeners can connect with you, can work with you. What's the best way?
So probably just my website, Empathpreneurs, empath, and then Preneurs.org. Everything's on there, or my Instagram, which is also at Empathpreneurs, is the best way. Everything kind of goes on there. Kind of tends to go on Instagram quicker than my website. So maybe Instagram. But either of those two.
I'll leave, as usual, links on the show's notes too. I'll leave the links for I know you have free resources that you offer. So that's a great way for anyone who wants to get to know your work and how people can buy your book.
It's an honor to write it and share it in any way. So thank you so much.
So is it available on Amazon and?
It's available globally. I mean, it should be anywhere books are sold online, and if it's not, you can order it and they should get it in. It's sort of being distributed like that, so it should be available globally. It isn't only in English though at the moment, but let's see.
So Embodied Business by Tara Jackson. Well, Tara, I want to acknowledge you for the work that you do, that you put out out into the world, helping us align with that inner source, that inner energy. It's so important, and I'm so grateful that you are embodying it and just manifesting whatever it's coming through your soul. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Will. Honestly, it's such an honor, and same right back to you in terms of your work. It's such an alignment, and I love what you do too. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And I'll talk to you soon. Much love.
And to you, much love.
Thanks for listening to this episode. If you would like to dive deeper into Tara's work, you can go to her website, www.empathpreneurs.org. There, you'll be able to download her free resources and also book a call with her. If you're interested in purchasing her book, you can look it up on Amazon and search for Embodied Business by Tara Jackson. As usual, you can find links on the show's notes. And once again, if this has brought you value, please subscribe to my podcast and take a screenshot of it, share it to your Instagram story, and be sure to tag me and Tara so we know that it's brought you value and your friends may benefit from this episode too. As always, keep shining your light, keep your heart open, and let love lead the way. I love you. See you in the next episode.